everybody. My big ass is back on the air.
Yeah, boy!
All right, let's get over here to get on this Skypey thing here. I'm not really sure what the weather's going to do over the next few hours, so we'll just have to play it by ear and see what happens. If the power goes out, I go black. If I hear a siren go off, I'm probably going to go black just because. I might run outside and try to film a Jim Cantori episode, but probably not going to stay on the air just because I want to know what's going on outside. Anyhow, let me get over here and hit the Skype thingy. And yes, I want to call everyone, otherwise I wouldn't have hit that fucking button. Okay, we'll get this underway here.
Smoke weed every day.
Right. Hey, look at that. Both of you answered at the exact same time. Lance, Charlie, how's every little thing with y'all?
Good. How about you?
Not doing too shabby. You made it by the skin of your teeth, bud.
I told you.
Yeah. Must not have brushed this morning.
Oh, it's going to go like that, huh? All right.
No Lori tonight. She's got some stuff going on early in the morning, I guess, so she's not going to be making it on tonight. But Lance made it, and we'll see.
I did.
Yeah. What's up, Lance, buddy?
What's up, brothers?
I'm watching this weather roll in, man. Where's David? David the light. He's lit up. Why isn't he not on the call? Let's get him added in here if we can. See if he'll answer.
He likes to be fashionably late.
That's true. Takes time to wipe your butt if you do it properly.
Wow.
Everybody's pooping, man. I mean, you know,
Could have done.
it's a hump day poop. Right?
Could have done without that.
I had that book.
The hump day poop?
Oh, no. Everybody poops. That's the name of the
Oh,
book.
everybody poops. Yeah, everybody does poop. If you don't poop, you're full of shit. Just kidding.
Wow.
Store high in transit.
That's right. Shite. All right. So what's since we don't have Mr. David on yet, what's on top of your list of stack of stuff, Lance? There's all kinds of stuff I've been reading about the housing market getting ready to go completely down the shitter now.
What's happening?
Hey, there's David. How's it going, David?
Pretty good.
Pretty good.
What's up, Brother Dave?
What's up, Lance? What's up, Charlie?
Hey, buddy.
So let's come on, bounce something off me, man. This housing market thing. What kind of ripples are going through your workplace?
Rates went up again today. So I saw that come through. They gave a chart from, I think it was like November 2nd, November 3rd, because a couple days before the election. I mean, rates have really gone up. I mean, 0.5%, maybe a little bit more since the election. Every single one of them, you know, that guy that I follow, he's pretty good. I mean, he seems to be right on the money. And he even thinks that it's still not going to get out of control this year. I mean, he even watches the stock market. He's just as, open-minded as we are about what's going on in the market. And he even says that it'll maintain through this year without crashing. He said there will be a subtle crash, maybe 10% or something, not the big one that you're looking for, and it'll be gone before you know it. And he said that'll happen this year. That was in that report I read today, actually. He said there is a correction coming, but the big one won't happen this year, he doesn't think.
Oh, he doesn't think.
Nope.
All the charts, man, all the matrices are showing that it's going down. And
yeah, well, they all said that since 2013.
So
anybody that throws a date out there,
that's not true.
Is being reckless. I mean, anybody that throws a date out there is being irresponsible, reckless, stupid. I could go on.
Well, and I understand that there's an epic amount of manipulation going on in the markets and in the gold and silver industry and stuff like that. But if you look at all the reports that are coming out and all the charts that have been around forever, everything is showing that the shit is tanking. It's tanking. No matter what anybody says, no matter what kind of economists talk about on fucking MSNBC or what, it's tanking. It's tanking.
But again, when you're in uncharted territory and you've got no historical basis to base your evidence on, then we're
if a third of the
You're
population
guessing
of
just
this
like everybody
country
else.
is out of work, it doesn't bode well for the economy, man. And a third of the country is out of work, and stores are closing.
They don't harp on that
every
labor
fucking day.
participation rate as much as like the Fox people are. That's for sure.
Well, the
Well-
Feds came out and said they're going to raise the rate 3 times this year.
Well, they said that last year too,
Yeah.
and they didn't. So that's all speculation too. And every time they do, it's a quarter of a fucking point. Who gives it? If they raised it 2 points or something like that, that would speak volumes into what the direction the country's going to go. But
No, that's the measured pace that that Yellen is looking for.
a quarter point
Yeah, that's
from
the
fucking zero?
measured pace.
from zero, right? It's been at zero for 10 plus years. So
I mean, prime rate's at 4% right now, which is, it sounds high, but
if you can get the bank to loan you some money, you can't get the bank to loan you any money, right? I mean that's just facts.
Around here you can.
Well, it's those places are few and far between. Just like you were the last one to hit the skids in the last housing bubble pop.
I'll give you an interesting number because I was doing some investigating on how many houses have closed and sold here in the 7 cities in January or February, because I was looking at our numbers, and our numbers at the credit union are down purchase wise.
Right.
So I'm like, why are my numbers so far down? Why are they off, 3/4 what they had been every month the last year? They closed 200 and something loans local, 200 closed in January and 200 something closed in February. That's a phenomenal amount of closings for our area in a single month. Because in the low times, it would be like 95, 75 homes a month would sell in a month.
Right.
Every month this year, we've averaged over 200. And it's all the people that locked in right after the election, before rates went up. So you've got artificial numbers happening right now across the United States, because any number that you see where there are higher sales, there are, because those are the people that got in right before the rates went up.
Right.
So let's see what happens in April and May.
Yeah, it's another bubble ready to pop, man.
Exactly.
They did the same thing with the auto industry again. It's the exact same thing they did during the last crash. So, okay, here's in the room was mentioned that Payless filed bankruptcy. Who mentioned that? Hang on, let me back up here.
The shoe store people?
Yep, they sure did. They're closing all of their stores. Period.
No way. The original BOGO
Troy Huben
store?
Yeah, Troy mentioned that in the room there. So let me jump over here to the Daily Job Cuts website and just give you people an overview of what's happening. last week.
Things got to be bad when Payless Shoes is going out of business, because there's some cheap ass shoes. They're decent, but
they filed bankruptcy. So we'll see what happens with that. Liberty University is laying off people. Esurance is laying off more than 100. Peace Health in Oregon's laying off 85. BlackRock Incorporated, some layoffs, no numbers given. That doesn't bode well for you people. Hampton Wilbraham Schools, up to 18 layoffs. CSX in Lake Township, 34 layoffs. Fairport Central School District, 30 teacher positions cut. Alorkia, I think Alorica Incorporated in La Crosse, Wisconsin, kicking 137 people out the door. Amgen, that's a pretty big company, 500 layoffs. Lindy Engineering in North America, 30 layoffs. John Zink Company, LLC, confirms some layoffs. No number given. Toshiba Westinghouse filed bankruptcy. Westinghouse. Now, Toshiba bought them years and years ago. Yeah, they make nuclear reactors. They filed bankruptcy. GE in Greenville, South Carolina, small number of layoffs. That's probably a couple thousand, right? GE. Rexnord post first layoffs, moving operations to Mexico. Rexnord moving operations to Mexico. Nordstrom.
Trump won't let that happen.
Oh yeah, right. And well, they have to throw the whole business over the wall, right? Is that how? Okay. Nordstrom's the retailer, laying off 106 people. Teleflex Incorporated, Arrow's subsidiary, laying off 15. U.S. Weekly, the magazine, laying off 40 people. GE in Schenectady, New York, small number of layoffs. GE in Salem, Virginia, same layoffs, no number. That doesn't look good. U.S. Children's St. Charles County nonprofit, a nonprofit laying off 135 people. Thompson Investments Casting in Rochester, New York, laying off 53. Norwin School District to consider layoffs. Denver Tap Influence Incorporated, layoffs, question mark. Kraft Heinz, laying off 200. Boeing plans another 245 layoffs. That's just in the last 5 days, people. Okay, moving on. Oh, let's do some closings. Here we go. Bowery Asian and Gastrop in Orlando, Florida is closing. Foodwise Discount Grocery in Abington, Virginia is closing. Petroleum Helicopters Incorporated in Morgan City is closing. Class Tex is closing in Ogdensburg, Pennsylvania. The American Signature Furniture Store in MacArthur Town Center in Whitehall, PA is closing. Winn-Dixie in Orlando, Florida, the one on South Orange Blossom Trail, is closing. Leo and Jimmy's Delicatessen in Willington, Delaware is closing. So that's just all today. Anyway, I'm going to go ahead and jump off that page.
I bet the defense industries are going to be booming over the next couple of years, though.
Well, yeah, you got to know that Boeing and Raytheon and them are making some killer money because we're dropping 500 fucking bombs a month. So, yeah, their stocks are probably going up a little bit. Anyway.
Well, what they say today, just in Mosul, Iraq alone, we've been dropping 500 bombs a week for the last 3 weeks, 3.5 weeks in Mosul. Mm-hmm. They said one week we dropped 650 on Mosul alone. This is one city alone, 500 a week for the last 3.5 weeks. One of those weeks was 600 and something.
Yeah, and they said that the 200 plus civilian casualties, that's just a whoops. You know, that's just.
They said we've actually killed. They said just since Trump's been president, this ain't bad mouthing Trump. They just said since he's been president, there's already been over 1,000 civilians killed.
Yeah.
Well, still less than under Obama and Bush, but
casualties.
Give them time. Give them time.
Yeah, I figured Trump's only been in office 2 months.
Yeah.
That's 500 people for the last each month.
Yep. All right. So, David, what's on top of your stack of stuff over there?
Like I said, that stat came out today. And that's just unbelievable. We're dropping that many bombs, 500 bombs a week for the last 3.5 weeks in Mosul itself. That's not the whole country of Iraq or Iraq. That's just one city.
One city.
Could you imagine that going on in Fargo? Like somebody dropping 30 bombs? I mean, 30.
Those poor people, man, that's horrible. And on top of that, you had ISIS, and they are using people as human shields, but those people are caught between a rock and a hard place. Try to move and get hit by snipers, or try to move and get beheaded by ISIS, or stay in your building and get bombed by America. Those poor people are just getting slaughtered over there.
Oh, yeah. Well, I think we blamed it on, hey, we're just firing where the Iraqi military tells us to fire.
Yep.
So blame them.
But then our general came out yesterday and said, well, yeah, I think that we were, now they're coming closer to admitting it. Now they're actually saying, well, yeah, we probably did do it, maybe, is what they're saying now.
But we're not changing any of our strategies of war because it seems to be working fine. That's exactly like their quote.
Yeah.
Pretty much.
They said about the only thing different that Trump's doing in Iraq right now in Syria is doing what Obama's doing, except he's adding a little bit more troops on the ground, but he's basically following the same policy.
They have to. It's not their policy.
Yeah, welcome to the new boss. Same
it's
as the
a
old boss.
military-industrial complex policy.
Yeah, we've been saying that shit forever, right?
Yep.
Mm-hmm. Here's the new boss.
And now they're coming out. They announced yesterday that we want to go into Yemen now. They said that basically Trump's fixing to sign off on it. That basically
that's a pretty bad place right now, though.
Oh yeah, the military generals under Trump have got full leeway, and that's cool. I agree with that because Obama was holding them back, but Trump gave the military generals full leeway. They said, you pick as many guys as you want, you send as many guys as you want. I'll give you permission already. And so these military generals are taking advantage of them. They're calling up troops right and left. Now they're saying Yemen to go in there and fight for fucking Saudi. And that's exactly what it is. We're going in there to fight for Saudi. We're going to sacrifice our guys for Saudi Arabia. And they're trying to say, oh, it's against the Houthis. Well, who sponsors the Houthis? Iran. Who does Saudi hate? Iran. You know. Trump's.
Why do they hate Iran? Iran hasn't done a fucking thing to anybody in 200 years, man. I
agree with that.
200 years. I mean, I can remember back when I was a kid sitting around the dinner table listening to the fucking news at 6 o'clock and hearing these exact same fucking stories.
Yeah, that's true.
You know,
exact.
You know, it just shows you Trump's following the same agenda. No one kisses. No one tells the Saudis to go fuck themselves. When Saudi snaps their fingers, we come running.
I'd love to have been in the room when they actually told Trump, you don't get to make any real decisions as president, right? I'd love to have seen the look on his face.
Yeah, because he's a fucking egomaniac. He thought once he got into the chair, he was going to be King Poobah. And now he's understanding now that it just doesn't work that way.
I'm sure Kissinger's talked to him a number of times since he's been president. You know, laying down the old Rothschild message. This is the way we're going to run this. We got you here, dude. Well, let's do what we want to do.
And to be honest with you, I mean, his accommodations and his travel itinerary and shit like that, it's a step down from where Trump was, right? He had his own private jet. He could go anywhere he fucking wanted to, anytime he wanted to. Now he's got to pass everything through the Secret Service and shit and get everything okayed and check marked and whatever. The digs at the White House aren't near as lush as the Trump Tower. So, he took a step down.
That's why he goes to that Mar-a-Lago every week. And so, he can have a little bit of his old life still, I guess, but on the taxpayer's dollar.
He'll be tapering that off. You saw the congressmen get together and said, don't come down here anymore. It's costing us $18 million overtime and police pay and shit like that.
Now he's gonna up his tour now. He's gonna come there twice a week instead of just once a week.
Well, he had Democrats and Republicans sign on to that request.
Right.
To not come to Mar-a-Lago anymore.
Yeah, he fucks up traffic, fucks up the whole town the whole time he's in town, right? They can't go anywhere. They can't go to fucking dinner. They can't go anywhere, because the whole town's fucked up when he shows up.
They also, Congressman passed a bill today they're passing where they're going to be able to review the logs of everybody that goes there every weekend with him, the people he's meeting there. He's got to produce the logs like every time.
I don't have a problem with that. It's the Freedom of Information Act.
Well, I mean, how many late night visitors did Obama have?
Right stuff.
How many late night visitors did Obama have that we didn't know anything about? Right?
They all do. I'm sure they do. Camp David everywhere. That's why they have Camp David for to have some secrecy.
Yeah.
But Trump won't ever go to Camp David. He's pretty much said it. He said, "I'm going to go to Mar-a-Lago. Fuck Camp David."
I mean, Bush went to the ranch more than he went to Camp David.
Nope.
Daddy Bush went up to Camp David every weekend, but George, he went to his ranch much more than he went to Camp David. Uh-oh, is that a sharp knife I hear cutting paper?
Yeah, I'm just kind of showing it off.
I've seen a couple videos of that.
Yeah. It's a pretty one. Cocobolo wood on it. Did the copper pins and copper scale liners and stuff. It's pretty. I'm pretty proud of this one too. I still got to work.
Is that the one you sent the video on? I can't see it yet. I hadn't caught up.
Yeah, it's my latest.
Hadn't caught up with the sound.
It's my latest one.
It's so sharp we hear it before we see it.
Exactly.
You're cutting thin air.
Yeah. I still got to work on the edge a little bit. It's not as refined as I want it.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think everybody else's video is actually running ahead of mine. I think I'm down to like a minute or more of lag on my end. I don't know if it's because of the storm or what, but yeah, this edge still needs a little bit of work.
It's pretty.
Thanks.
Yeah, that's a nice enough.
Yeah, so you guys
like I
are
said,
seeing it,
though,
and I'm not.
It won't do you any good in the zombie apocalypse because you got to be able to pierce the skull.
I got a skull piercer, man. I got some pretty nice skull piercers actually. I got a couple of wicked ass hatchets that are, man. So shave with it, I ain't shaving shit. If you guys will notice, I actually trimmed my shit a little bit, but no, I'm never ever shaving this beard off again because I know I'll look like a fucking baby face if I shave this beard off. Because if you go back on my timeline on Facebook or go into my pictures or whatever, you'll see a picture from probably 5 or 6 years ago before I had the beard. I took a selfie in front of the computer, and you can see what I look like without a beard. So that's not happening.
January 1st, I woke up and shaved off all my facial hair, and I was like, I don't like it. I'm going back. I said, I don't like it.
Yeah, once you get one, you just don't want to give it up. I don't want to give it up. It took a long goddamn time to get this thing in. So, because it grew in really, really sparse looking, and it took me forever to get my mustache right. So, no, it's not getting shaved. Never get negative Ghost Rider.
Mustache. Put a little milk on that, cat lick it right off.
Yeah.
Mustache.
The only reason you can say that is because it's not live and in person,
Lance.
That's the problem of being a ginger. Sometimes your hair blends into your skin. All right. What's next?
Shit, there's so much that happened today, that's for sure.
Fuck yeah, there is. Go ahead.
Now, I was going to ask you your all's opinion on this. What about that story coming out of Oklahoma about that 23-year-old that shot those 3 teenagers in his? You see that story?
I missed that story.
Yeah, hang on a second. I got it right here.
There was like 4 of them. One girl was the getaway driver. She
turned herself in,
or something.
Yeah, she turned herself in after everything went down.
But I agree with the dude. You come in, you kick. This should be a lesson to all would-be fucking robbers out there. When you kick someone's fucking door in, you don't know what's on the other side.
Oh, you mean the teenager that shot the burglars?
Yeah. Let me drop this story.
I applaud that guy. I really fucking do.
Let me drop this story for everybody. 3 would-be robbers.
Cool.
Yeah, this happened in Broken Arrow, Oklahoma, everybody. 3 would-be robbers, and it happened last night, I think. 3 would-be robbers were shot and killed Monday. No, I guess it was 2 days ago. When an Oklahoma homeowner's son opened fire on them with an AR-15, authorities said. Wagner County Sheriff deputies were called to the home in Broken Arrow, southeast of Tulsa, around 12:30 p.m. local time. When they arrived, they found 3 dead suspects and 2 injured residents. Sheriff spokesman Deputy Nick Mahoney said that suspects entered the home through a glass back door with the intent to burglarize it. It was not immediately clear why they picked that home. Mahoney said the suspects encountered a homeowner's 19-year-old son who opened fire after exchange of words. 2 of the suspects died in the home in the kitchen, while the third was found in the driveway. It's not immediately clear whether the suspects were armed, but Mahoney said preliminary investigations indicate the shootings were in self-defense. The homeowner's son volunteered to give a statement at the sheriff's office. This is a very, very unusual for us in Wagner County, Mahoney told the Tulsa World. I guess that's the local paper. It's not something we're used to. There's more on OKCFox.com if you want to go there and check it out. But that's
they updated the story today. The investigators did, and they said that these kids had hit the house earlier, like the day before. That they had a detached garage too, and it was a nicer house.
Yeah, you can see
it. A detached garage, and the kids had broke in there and stole alcohol earlier, and so they decided they're going to go into the house because the girl had made some kind of, I don't know, delivery or something there for some company or whatever, and she had seen in the house when he opened the door, she was invited in. Anyway, she knew what the house looked like, and so she told the 3 boys, let's go hit inside the house this time. And so they went in at 12:30 in the afternoon, thinking nobody was home.
Yep.
And they broke a glass door with brass knuckles to get in.
Yep.
Well, the kid was upstairs sleeping at 12:30, and he was sleeping. And he woke up when he heard the glass break. He grabbed his AR from his bedroom, went downstairs, and he just shot. He said he basically just pointed and shot, and he went and barred himself in a bathroom and called the cops, saying, I just shot these 3 people in my house breaking in. Please send help there. I think a couple of them are dying. So he tried to even get them help right away after he shot them.
Yep.
Well, the cops got there. They found 2 in the kitchen, so just blood everywhere. He had hit all 3 in the kitchen, but one had managed to make it out to the driveway where he collapsed. The girl seen it and she took off.
She sped off, yep. And turned herself in
so
today.
They're saying that basically, the guys had brass knuckles and a knife on them. They didn't have any guns on them. but that the kids had been there before and broke in. The girl told the investigators, and they were going back. They had a complete black mask over their face, black hoodies on, everything. And so they said self-defense. They didn't, they said they're still reviewing the case, but they don't think this 19-year-old should be charged. It is stand your ground.
Yep.
Yeah, absolutely not.
And the kid's felt bad. He's traumatized. He's having to go to therapy already. The one that shot these 3 other kids. He's like,
Luckily, it's a stand your ground state there, because there's a few of them that he'd be facing murder on right now.
Yeah.
Texas has castle doctrine too. If they're anywhere on your property, you can shoot at them. So
I agree with the kid. He did what he had to do, man.
absolutely, I do too. I hope he gets a medal.
Yeah, no kidding. Exactly.
If you're stupid to go into someone's house you don't know, kicking someone's door in, then you're taking the chance of what's on that other side, man.
Right.
Good ammo management there. Mm-hmm.
Let's see what else we got on here. Sorry about that. Getting caught by a couple of loogies. A 6.6 quake rocked near Kamchatka in Russia, one of their offshore islands. That's a pretty good sized shaker for that area, and I think there was just a volcano that started going off after 250 years on the same island. So yeah, that's something to keep our eyes on. How about this one here? This is pretty good. Congresswoman utilizes Facebook to warn illegals of ICE raids. Did you guys read this story yet?
Yeah, right.
I heard that today.
Okay, here we go. On Tuesday, Massachusetts State Representative Michelle Dubois used her Facebook page to give a heads up to illegal aliens about scheduled immigration and customs enforcement raids. Her posts, Dubois lists and pinpoints rumored addresses where raids are expected to take place. She also provides phone numbers to illegals in the area where raids are occurring. In addition, Dubois provides an information graphic on what illegal immigrants should do if ICE comes to the door. So one of her tweets reads, ICE raid in Brockton on 3/28 and 29. If you get picked up by ICE, call Legal Services direct line for immigration help. She gives the phone number. And then it says, if you are undocumented, don't go out in the street. If there's a knock on the door of your house and you don't know who it is, don't open the door. I ask you to be careful. These are tweets from her. As a result of her actions, Dubois' Facebook page comment sections have been riddled with criticisms and rebuke. One particular critic is Bristol County Sheriff Thomas Hodgson, who tweeted that her actions are completely undermining law enforcement. Below is a reply Dubois wrote on Facebook to Facebook critics regarding her decision to give advanced warning to illegals. It says, I am deleting attacks on the original posts. This post is to inform, not debate, immigration policy. It's my page, and I can delete posts if I want to. I added that in. This post is just to spread awareness of the seriousness of the new immigration policies instituted by Trump. It should motivate those who can gain documentation to do so, and others who can't to start making a plan for the safety of their family. Right. So I think that she's actually received a ton of hate mail now since this has occurred, and people on social media made her famous. So we'll see how this pans out in the next.
And Trump hasn't even made one new law. He's enforcing the existing laws.
These laws are already in place. Yeah, they're already in place. So Michelle Dubois, you are a total derp.
A derp. Where's your derp?
Yep.
Derp, derpity, derp, derp.
You want to hear it?
You did a great job, Lance. Thank you.
Oh no, that's the wrong one.
No, I like that one.
Yeah.
Dirk was good.
But this one's the one for her.
Derpity derp 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 derpity derp derp.
Thanks, Michelle.
Derp derp derpity derp 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 derpity derp 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 derp.
Okay. So now that that's over.
Why wasn't she arrested?
I don't
for
know.
the position that she holds.
I don't know. That's quite interesting, and especially with the sheriff making a comment on her posts, you would think, if he calls it undermining.
First Amendment.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, yeah.
First
First
Amendment.
Amendment, right? Yeah. And she doesn't want the ACLU I'm sure the sheriff doesn't want the ACLU climbing up his walls. So
Hi, TP.
Tippy's right underneath the desk. She's laying right where I usually stand. So if you see me kind of moving around, trying not to step on my dog, she doesn't like storms at all. And there's some pretty good lightning off to the west right now. Oh, yeah, there's one right there. So keep an eye over my shoulder.
Yeah, my
people.
dog will be touching my ankles. If
Shit
it's
might start
thundering
lighting up.
outside,
Yeah.
she's touching my ankles.
Yeah, that's exactly Tippy. She gets underneath my feet and stays there until the storm's gone.
Yep, stays there.
Yeah. Meanwhile, Angus is in there on my bed slobbering all over everything because he just sleeps right through the shit. There could be a fucking bomb going off outside and my dog would not wake up. Unless you unwrap a piece of cheese. Then he's
Yeah,
right
Sonny,
there.
my puppy's like, she doesn't care about that, but the lawnmower scares the shit out of her, but she'll go through a thunderstorm, no problem.
Oh, yeah? That's good. So, 2 storm chasers from Cassville, Missouri were killed chasing Texas twisters on Tuesday. They actually had some pretty rapid.
Yeah, but the way
pretty
they
ones.
died is just stupid.
Because they one of them, I'm not going to say who did what to who, but there was another chaser from Arizona, a young man. I think he was 20 something. He wasn't 30 years old yet. One of the vehicles ran a stop sign and
Yeah,
hit
it was
the
the
other
two
one.
people from the Weather Channel.
Well, they don't know who did what yet. I don't think the
Well, I
investigation's
thought
done.
they did say that.
Well, anyway, one of them, the Suburban, is supposedly the one that blew the stop sign. I don't know who was driving what. That's why I don't make a call as to that yet.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, they killed each other trying to chase down a twister. So the twister didn't kill them. They were not paying attention to what they were doing and killed each other. So very sad
It's funny
story.
because I saw that story last night, and the way the news said it was, 2 storm chasers. And I said to my roommate, I was like, well, damn. And he's like, well, you chase fire long enough, the
fire's gonna
storms are
get
going to get you. And then I read this morning that when they ran a stop sign, they had to have been the only 2 fucking cars on the road during this tornado. Out of this
shit.
rural land, 2 cars on the road. And, it's like the story of the first stoplight in New York City that they put in. There was an accident the very first day.
Right.
Very first stop. I mean, that's just dumb.
Reed Timmer was actually only a couple of miles away from where this accident happened, filming the exact same tornado from a different location. So they were all down there in the same
It's
area.
awful. I feel bad for them, but
Yeah.
that's not how a storm chaser is supposed to go out. If they're going to go out, they'd be like, what was that movie with the cow flying? Twister.
Yeah. All right. Over to you, David. What's the next story?
He's going to talk about North Korea here for a minute.
Mr. Kim Jong-il.
Your 38 parallel news site that does all the commercial satellite images of them and stuff, or I think they're 38 something. But anyway, they've been putting out ones where they said this test is imminent of their 6th nuclear weapon. They said they're showing the tunnels and everything. These are high resolution maps too, and they're pointing everything out, what's what. And they said he is going to light a nuke off. The question is just exactly when. So it has to be, imminent here. Some are saying it could, between now and probably, they said April 15th is some holiday of his grandfather or something. But they said that it could be a lot sooner than that from the images that they're getting now. And they said this is going to be the biggest one he's done. They said, they're more worried about this setting off an earthquake somewhere over there, And it's a 2-tunnel test. He's dug into 2 tunnels and made it like 1.
Oh, really?
And and they said plus on top of that, they think that with this 3rd rocket test he just did the other day, I think he did a 3rd one on what was it, Monday? Was it Monday or Friday? He did a 3rd one right after he just did that one. Then he just did another one.
I thought he was supposed to set this nuke off like Monday or something, though, didn't they? I mean, they've been saying it's imminent for a week.
Yeah, I've heard between now and April 15th, they think.
Oh, so he's going to put it off for a whole 2
They
more
said he
weeks.
could put it off till the holiday, basically the anniversary of his grandfather. And they said, he likes, celebrating holidays
Big
with
bang for
rocket
Grandpa.
launches or something like that.
Yeah.
But anyway, it's coming close because it was announced yesterday China started drills on the North Korean border. Russia started drills on the North Korean border today. So they know it's close. China and Russia both know, and they're trying to make it where Trump doesn't go for it if he sets it off. It's the way it's looking more and more is Trump's going to do something if he sets this off to basically, maybe keep a campaign pledge. Who knows? But then they said with all this Russia stuff, this would be a perfect distraction now for Russia, for Trump to do something. And so China and Russia are worried about it. And, China came out and said, we don't want refugees coming to our border. We're hoping, Trump doesn't respond, but if he does, we want to make sure we keep the refugees from crossing the border. And they're saying that's what their drill is about. Russia, they moved over some rocket launchers and stuff. And so they're going even a little bit further than what China is.
Yeah, they're piling people on the borders all around NATO.
Because Russia shares a small border with North Korea, and of course China's got a pretty big border. But and it's pretty mountainous in those areas too. So it's going to be interesting. It's going to be interesting if Trump does anything. If Little Kim does this, because,
everybody's shipping lanes run right up along the coast there. I mean, everybody's got boats to go by there. So yeah, I'm sure the whole world's watching, just like every fucking time he decides to set some shit off.
I think China and Russia don't know how Trump's going to respond. I don't think they can nail it down. I think they partly believe he won't, but then part of them believes, well, he just might be crazy enough to do it. We need to have our borders secured.
I saw another story today that said that I think one of his military advisors said, just go ahead and nuke the motherfuckers, man. Let's get it over with.
Yeah.
So he's got more than one person trumpeting to start a nuclear fucking war.
Yeah, he came out and said, just told Trump to nuke him. And this was Woolsey. He used to go back in the 90s to when he was defense minister. And he came out yesterday or today and told my advice to Trump would be to nuke him. He said, because they're going to nuke us first if we don't.
Yeah, well, here's a little advice to you, Mr. Woolsey. Unless somebody asks you to respond to a question, shut the fuck up, okay? Because you got no good information. Just shut the fuck up.
His claim is that basically we're looking at an EMP attack over here, if anything. It's what he said. He said they'll knock our power grid down.
Yeah. If that happens,
we've known that for years, and we've done nothing to beef our infrastructure up to prevent an EMP attack.
That was close.
And so that's what he says. He said 90%. He said, what did he say? 90% of America would go dark or something like that if North Korea hits us with an EMP.
Shut the fuck up, Mr. Woolsey. You have absolutely no idea what you're talking about. Shut the fuck up.
He says we've known for years that they've been able to miniaturize nukes, that they've got the ways, they've got the means. He said that they can do it, and that basically he's pissed off at the mainstream media for not telling people that.
Oh, really?
He said the mainstream media should have been telling American citizens the truth, that we are in imminent danger from these guys. And whether he's making it up or not, who fucking knows? But this is what he's saying. He says that we've known for years.
It's because he's a fucking has-been. He's looking for a seat on some kind of talk panel every week on the mainstream media, right? Yeah.
Well, and so, you can look at it either way, however anybody wants to look at it. But he claims that we've known for years that they can nuke us, and it's only getting worse the longer we hold back. And that he's pissed the mainstream media hasn't been telling people and how much danger we're really in for like the past 10 years.
Yeah, I mean, it's not like we know, that there's a report coming out every time Lil' Kim scratches his ass, right? But we don't know shit, right? Okay.
He can't reach that far.
Oh, well, maybe not. He's got somebody hired to do it.
So they're pushing for a war with North Korea, man.
Yeah.
They're pushing war for China. NATO, man, is bolstering Russia's western flank like you wouldn't believe.
Yeah,
I mean, they're
troops
sending
in
all
Poland,
kinds of stuff up.
Troops in Poland and
Poland, Britain, France, and America.
Well, no, I mean the troops on the borders of all these nations. Poland and the Belarusians are going to get some Russian troops in there so they can stack up on the border there. So everybody's going to be within hand grenade range of each other, and you can pretty much guess that one of them's going to fire a shot.
That's what they said in Syria right now. We're within hand grenade of each other right now.
Yep.
And they said that basically in Belarus, That's another big thing. There was a lot that I read a real good opinion piece last night, and it basically geopolitical laid out how when those rebels went into eastern Ukraine, that basically this was Putin's way of making sure that we can't make Ukraine a NATO nation. That he knew that if he could get into eastern Ukraine, he knew that would blank us in making that a NATO nation. As long as this war's going on, NATO won't accept it.
Okay.
Just strategic stuff. But what's going on in Syria is kind of weird. You're not hearing the press talk about it. We're both supporting the Syrian Democratic Forces now. Us and Russia. We're both guiding the SDF. But yet we're not, according to our military chiefs, we're not having any contact with each other, even though we're both supporting the same rebel force now. So there's a lot going on behind the scenes we're not being told. And like I said, at the same time, while we're supposedly working with the same rebel group in Syria, we're against each other up there with NATO. And then it came out that Putin started arming and funding the people we're against in Libya now. So we're head to head in Libya, head to head over in Eastern Europe, but hand in hand with each other in Syria. Makes no sense.
Except for Israel.
Yep. And that's another thing. You had Assad came out the other day and told Israel, you launch one more attack on our sovereignty, we're going to hit you with Scuds. And Israel called their bluff and said, well, we'll see about that. It's definitely boiling up in all points, man. All your flashpoints are all ready to blow. It's the question of which one's going to go first. And if this stuff in North Korea goes, that's just going to be the spark to set it all off. Because that's the point we're at now, where one little miscalculation is going to set this whole thing up.
I hate to tell Assad, but those Scuds got no chance on making it through the Iron Dome.
No, they don't.
They're so fucking. That's 90s technology.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So, I mean, but the S-300s that he's supposed to have on his border, I don't understand why those things aren't hot and active, because they can take out those jets as soon as they cross the border.
Well, the story out on that, Iran put out a story on that in their own press. Basically, Iran was, how'd they put it, or Russia was purposely holding the codes back from Assad on those things, because of a deal he's got with Netanyahu. And that Iran came back, and when Assad fired at him this last time and Israel was caught off guard with that, that basically Iran found that Russia hid the codes from Assad, and that Iran went over to those S-300s, since they got some now from Russia, and switched the codes back. And that's why the Israel finally got fired on the other day. That basically Iran went behind Russia's back to Assad and said, here's the codes, man. Turn those things on, because Russia's got them turned off because of Israel, because of Netanyahu, and Putin's got a little bit of a deal going here.
Unbelievable.
I can't back that up. That's just what's been reported out of Iranian media.
If that's true, dude, that is unfucking believable. That is.
But yet, Putin and the president of Iran were buddy yesterday and the day before, because the president of Iran went to Moscow and met with Putin. So who knows? Maybe they were just smiling for the cameras, but it looked like they were pretty close.
Yeah, but that's just rock solid proof that all these fucking people are playing their role in the game.
Oh yeah, exactly, dude. That's exactly it. It's all.
This is nothing but a bunch of fucking bullshit, and yeah, it's world stage is exactly what it is. And how long we've been talking about that, Lance? I think 5 years, 6 years. This is all. Everything's just bullshit. Everything's bullshit. Everything you've ever been taught in your life is a fucking lie, and everything you see on TV is made to turn your brain into mush, and nothing's real. Nothing's real. We're living in a fucking dream world. Right?
Well, it seems like the Matrix.
All right. What else? Got anything else to add into that little debacle?
I don't got nothing else with that.
What a mess.
No shit.
It's just
dude.
a mess. I mean, every time you report on that, David, it just gets deeper and uglier, and there's so many tentacles to it.
this, you've got to look what's going on. We're still in Afghanistan. We've been there since 2002. We're still in Iraq. We've been there since 2003. Now we're moving into Syria.
And neither one of them had a goddamn thing to do with 9/11.
No,
by the way.
And now we're moving in. We're on a roadmap here, and now we're moving into Syria. And some eventually, even some of your biggest analysts come out and say, with us as close to Russia as we are in Syria, something's going to happen. They said you can only pretend for so long. And they said something's going to happen between us and Russia and Syria. So there's just no way that
we've been saying that for months. You put those planes in the air that close to each other, somebody's going to shoot at somebody.
Yeah, you got soldiers with each other now. You got our planes flying next to each other now. It ain't like we're best buddies, and we're not. And so
No.
Trump can pretend or whatever. He it'll probably be us pissing Russia off and doing something stupid to bring it on. Trump
Yeah,
will
we're
be
gonna
told
have we're going to have an errant bombing run on some of their troops, right?
I don't
Be on
think
one
Trump
side of
wants to
town.
go to war with Russia.
No, but his handlers do. Kissinger does.
Exactly.
Yep.
Even though Kissinger acts like that him and Putin have been best friends for over 20 years, according to him. So
Who,
it's
Putin
all
and
weird,
Kissinger?
man. It's just,
Yeah, right. Well, hey, man, they probably have. They probably both got the same tailor or something over there in Moscow, making their black robes that they wear to all their little events that they.
everybody's connected. All these world leaders, the elite, they're all connected. It's like I said, if there's going to be another huge world war, it's going to be a completely staged one. Countries are going to sacrifice their troops in the name of the New World Order. Russia's going to sacrifice their troops. China's going to sacrifice theirs. We're going to sacrifice ours. Sacrifice civilians. It's all going to be for the New World Order.
And it disgusts me.
No, it's absolutely disgusting. And people want to say that Putin and China aren't part of the game. Yeah, they are. They all pay into the IMF.
Yep.
And they're all part of the game too.
Yep.
Russia and China may not be as big in the New World Order as we are, but they're still a part of it. China came out and said they want to create their own New World Order. So I believe that this next war, if it didn't go nuclear, which it's gonna, if we have another war, it's gonna go freaking nuclear in no time. But like I said, Putin and all them will all be underground drinking champagne, man. They've all got their seats promised to them in the bunkers.
Okay.
I mean, hell, Putin's got a whole bunker that can hold like 1 million people, all of Moscow underground.
And they just updated all their shit over the last 2 years too.
Yeah.
They just went through and made sure
Israel just
everything was up
built
to
a-
date, made sure the
Israel-
electrical systems were working, all the generators were working. Yeah, they're ready.
Israel got a whole hospital underground now that can survive a nuclear war.
You know what we're doing over here in the United States to get ready? Everybody's meeting at McDonald's for
Nothing.
lunch.
No, we got a place for all the important people to go underground.
I hope
Yeah.
that fucking place fills with lava. I honest to God
great.
do, man. I hope that once they're all down there and locked securely in their little bunker space, I hope that
get a-
motherfucker fills with lava.
Crack in the foundation and lava boils up.
Yeah, baby. Or a big
smell
tectonic shift.
bacon.
Yeah, a big tectonic shift and a wellspring pops right through the middle of the motherfucker and
They all
just floods
drown.
it. Yeah. I'm sorry. Is that bad of me? Is that evilish? Sorry.
It's not very Zen-like, but
Yeah.
I support it.
I'm sure when I get to where I'm going, when the Creator brings me home, that He'll give me a fist bump for that thought. I'm pretty sure. So I'm not too sweating it. Go ahead. Go ahead. Talk about another thing. I got one here. Yeah, it's lightning outside, man. It's popping all over my cameras on the perimeter of the house. So
Yeah, I saw that one.
we'll see how long I'm able to stay on. Here's a story from medicalkidnap.com. This ought to shake everybody's tree. This happened 2 days ago. His parents say that he's just a normal, imaginative little boy. His school says that he needs mental health help. After Christian Maple was called to pick up his 7-year-old son, Camden, from school following an incident. Christian and his wife, Katie, had a long talk with their son to find out exactly what was going on. As parents, they know their son better than anyone, and they addressed the situation at home. They thought the matter was settled. It should have been over, but it wasn't. It got much worse. The next morning, staff at Bowman Primary School in Lebanon, Ohio, demanded to know the content of the Maples' conversation with their son. Christian did not believe that it was their business to know the details, and he and Katie chose to reject the primary school's opinion that they needed to have Camden evaluated and treated by psychologists. The school reported the Maples to Child Protective Services. 8 police officers later surrounded the family's house and took the 7-year-old away from his home. Instead of the state respecting the Maples' fundamental right to parent their child and make medical decisions for him, CPS has seized custody of Camden and accused his parents of neglecting his mental health. The Maples are still reeling in shock and are now fighting to get him back. This happened 2 days ago, people, in what's the name of this fucking town? Lebanon, Ohio. A school disagreed with parents on how they raised their son and sent the police to their home to take their child.
Let me play devil's advocate for 1 minute.
Go ahead.
I've seen some 6, 7, 8-year-old kids that probably should be evaluated because they draw pictures of killing people. So, I mean, if he did crayon drawings of stabbing his teacher or stabbing, we don't know. I mean, we don't know because the details aren't in the story. But I'm playing devil's advocate here. I have seen some kids that seriously need some professional help that their parents can't do it. I don't know if this is one of those kids, but what caused the kid to get in trouble? I mean, it wasn't very clear in what you were reading.
I'm getting ready to read it to you, so hang on a second. The school, man, it is fucking raining. The school thinks he has ADHD. We, as his parents, disagree with that. We believe that it stems mostly from boredom and not being challenged in the classroom. The school has tried on several occasions to get us to have him diagnosed so that he can be medicated. We as parents,
that's bullshit.
We as parents do not have the problem the school claims to have with him at home. We know how to deal with a rambunctious 7-year-old, but the school is content with making him believe that he is a bad child, and we disagree. He often finishes his schoolwork before most of his classmates, so he doodles to fill the time. His parents report that he has gotten into trouble for that. They say that he gets bored at school and that they have made suggestions to his teacher on how to handle him, but the school has ignored everything. So there's your answer.
Yeah, I agree with the parents. I mean, they just want kids to sit there and not be free thinkers and obey.
Yeah.
Exactly. More of that gray state thinking.
Right. And he probably questions the teachers and they don't like that. They don't like kids that question their authority, right? They think they're authority figures instead of instructors.
Just because they think somebody has ADHD, I mean, yeah, that's no reason to medicate them.
Nope.
To go straight to Big Pharma.
Yep.
I mean, we medicated my son for the first 14 years of his life because he's autistic. He's 24 going on 8. And we medicated him. We had all of them. We sampled them. We did all the clinical trials for these ones that would numb you down and dumb you down. And at 14, I threw them all in the trash. It was right before I started doing the shows and stuff. But I started waking up to it, threw all that shit in the trash one day, quit him cold turkey, and never looked back. Canceled his doctor's appointment, said, fuck it, he ain't taking medicine anymore.
Okay. Evidently, this did not happen 2 days ago. This story was written 2 days ago. This has been going on for over a month now because they've already had court dates and stuff, so check this shit out. 2 weeks after all this, on March 3rd, Christian received a phone call that there was an emergency shelter care hearing later that day at court. The Maples learned for the first time... Wow, that was close.
Wow.
That was close.
Wow.
That was right outside the house.
Yeah, it was.
Okay,
Sounds
here
like
we go.
it was here.
Okay. At court, the Maples learned for the first time that the school had called CPS on 4 other occasions during the past year. Katie says that all the allegations were false and obviously completely made up. CPS never contacted us about these phone calls because they themselves admit that the calls were unsubstantiated. Yet social worker Katie Pyle reportedly presented those phone calls to Magistrate Jennifer Coatney as evidence that Camden was in need of CPS care, according to the court report. So check this out. Magistrate Jennifer Coatney, the one that gave the police the right to go abduct the child from the home, told Katie this in court, the child's mother. You see what happens? This is what will happen to your other children if you do not cooperate.
Fuck those motherfuckers.
That was from
Fuck
a
them.
judge. That was from a judge in court. Later that day,
That make me want to homeschool.
Later that day, social workers showed up at the Maple home with 8 armed police officers and every intention of taking Camden into custody. The Maples felt that they had no choice but to comply. CPS seized Camden and placed him with a relative. Oh, God. I'm not going to keep going on this story because I'll just get pissed and more pissed and pissed and pissed and pissed.
Yeah, that kid would be pulled out of that school. He'll be homeschooled here before too long.
Yep. So if they get him back, it's a good.
Until 9:45 for northeastern Perry, southeastern Van Buren, southeastern Faulkner, and northwestern.
Uh-oh.
Correction. Northeastern Perry, southeastern Van Buren, southeastern Conway, and northwestern Faulkner counties in central Arkansas.
Yeah, that's just south of me a little bit. So and this is like a big derecho line that was coming through the country. So okay. On to another story. If you guys want to see this one, it's on my Facebook wall or it's on my Twitter wall or something like that. Yeah, I'll copy it and put it in the room, I reckon, just in case. Okay, go ahead, David. Here comes the rain.
What else? Japan's ruling party came out, and they're pushing to hurry up and get the THAAD anti-missile systems set up, and Japan's also, ruling party's also pushing its government to have strike capability against North Korea as soon as possible.
This is
Like I said, they've got elections coming up, so they're trying to get this done before this liberal guy takes it over. But like I said, America's been probing each presidential candidate, seeing where they stand on this.
yeah, because we might need to go over there and bomb some freedom into them,
Yeah,
right?
you know.
Start the Korean Spring.
Yeah, there you go.
Excuse me. Okay, so
See,
who do they want? Do you know? I mean, who's the candidate that the CIA is backing?
I haven't heard. They haven't said. They
I know.
just said they've talked to all 3 of them.
They probably like the chick in there that was turning her body over to spirits. When they lost her, they were like, damn it.
She's having to go to court, I think, here in a couple hours, and they're going to decide if they're sending her to prison or not.
Well, maybe somebody will vaporize her out of there or something, you know? Beam me up, Scotty. There's no intelligent life down here. Okay. How you feeling, David?
Oh, I'm feeling about normal, a little bit pain the past couple of days, but I'm alive. I'll go back to the doctor on Friday. Got to be there for 3 hours.
Oh, God.
I got to see a nurse and see a doctor. And have a bunch of lab work done. As soon as that's done, see another nurse, see another doctor. So 2 different doctors, 2 different nurses, and lab work.
That's
all
gotta
on
be a
Friday.
fucking pain in the ass, dude. Do you just sit there on your phone most of the time, scrolling through shit and tweeting and Facebooking, and then all of a sudden you hear your name and you're like, what? What? Oh, me? Oh, good. I was getting ready to take
pretty
a
much.
nap.
That's how
Thanks.
That's it. You spend most of your time waiting, and
And you're at the VA, right? This is
Yeah.
VA private hospital. It's all VA. That's why.
yeah. Well, I'm seeing it both civilian and VA, but this appointment coming up on Fridays with the VA.
Ugh. I feel sorry for you, man.
I've got a civilian, my oncologist is civilian doctors, but then I see my regular doctors too, because they're kind of part of this too, and they're getting filled in the same time that I'm filling in my civilian doctor. I'm going back and forth between both of them.
Yeah. Hey. Well, at least you're feeling better. I'm glad you're feeling better. I hope the weather's breaking a little bit up there.
Yeah, the past couple of days have been really nice in the 50s. So, I've been sitting outside a lot more the past couple of days with my dog, just letting the air blow on me.
You got more
vitamin D.
Blow the stink off.
You got more energy, it sounds like.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. I agree with that. I'm a sun person, man. Like I said, I'm originally from down south. I love the sun, man.
You got to have it to charge your batteries. If I wake up and it's a cloudy day, I can't get my motivation going. If it's a cloudy day, I can't. I just can't. It sucks.
That's the deal is up here we have more cloudy days than sunny days.
Yeah, fuck that shit. That's how I couldn't live in Seattle. There's no way. There's no way that I could live in Seattle. Kim, if you want to add in, I will call you. I will add you to the call. I cannot answer the call when you call like that because it'll hang up on the other dudes. So let me jump down here and add Kim Collier in. This will be a first. Boop. We'll get her added in here. All right. On to the next story, David. She'll add in when she sees it ringing, I think.
The city of Seattle has announced tonight that they're suing President Trump, vowing to protect illegal immigrants.
Who's suing him?
Seattle, city of Seattle.
Oh, we were just talking about them. Bunch of fucking
asses. They said they're going to sue Trump. This is, like I said, I know Trump's playing a part, but this is one thing I don't like the guy, but this one thing I do agree on is the immigration stuff. And I agree with all that part of it, man. It's everything else I don't. But with the immigration thing, I agree with that.
He has not implemented anything. We talked about that just a little bit ago. All he's doing is enforcing laws that are already on the books, and people are freaking the fuck out.
Yep.
So I don't get that. I really don't get that. But anyway, go on with your story.
Well, I've seen how much they're going to charge to build that just parts of the wall, and that's ridiculous, man. I mean, like up to $1 billion or something like that for like all he's getting is then they're facing a government shutdown over this because the Democrats are threatening to hold back any money because they're like, you said Mexico would pay for this, and now you're asking us for $1 billion loan. They're like, bullshit, man. Your whole candidacy was Mexico was going to pay for this wall. They said you told everybody that voted for you that Mexico was going to pay for this, and now you're coming to us for $1 billion loan. They're like, don't. They said, unless you do this and that, Trump's finding that he's needing the Democrats more than he thought he would. Look at his health care bill. Look at this now.
What health care bill? He didn't produce shit.
No, that's what I mean.
Yeah.
That wasn't his fault.
Well, no, you got to blame it on
It
Priebus.
wasn't. The Republicans have had 7 fucking years to get something on paper.
I know.
They should have been ready on day 1.
You got to blame it on Priebus.
And not day 74.
Right. You
fuck
got
them fuck them.
Yeah, you got to blame it on Priebus and all them other ones. I mean,
Exactly.
They're working against Trump. Hi, Kim. Welcome to the show. Oh, you might want to kill your video. Otherwise,
hi, how are you?
I'm good. You might want to kill your video, though, because it's going to make you lag, probably.
Okay, well, I'm not sure how to do that. What do I do?
Just hit the little camera button there, and that'll turn the camera off.
It says boiler room, and then it has 3 pictures of little people with different colors.
That you're good.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, but she's on video. I can see her on video. I'm sure you guys can't.
I declined it.
Oh, did you?
Yeah.
Okay.
I could push boiler room.
Now, let me see if I can just decline the...
Okay, I just walked in the door. I was driving when you guys were on earlier.
Okay.
There's a camera there. There's supposed to be a line through it.
Yeah, you see the little camera on the call? You see the little camera button underneath everybody's picture?
Well, I see one's just blue and it says boiler room, and then there's different highlighted colors with just little people on there.
Oh. Okay. Well, if it's not going to make you lag, then you can leave the video on.
Yeah, it doesn't sound like she's lagging. It's good.
Okay. All righty. So we're discussing. Go ahead, David.
Where were we?
Oh, I can't remember. I kind of got discombobulated when she added in.
The sunshine on your face.
Or the
breeze
wall. You
blow.
were talking about
Oh, yeah.
borrowing $7 billion. For
Right.
the wall.
To
Yeah,
build the wall.
and then so the government says that they're going to shut. The Democrats, we don't want to shut down the government. They're like, but unless we can come to terms with some of these different issues with Trump, it's going to happen. And money. I guess the government shuts down sometime in the middle of April if it happens. And they're usually able to avert it, except for that last time they didn't. The time before, and so I'm like, shut it down. You all can go home, man. We don't need you anyway. They act like that it's gonna offend any of us if they go home.
But there's companies that are bidding on it, man. I mean, everybody wants to get in on building this wall because they know it's going to be a huge fucking governmental contract, and they're going to make bank, right?
And what's
all you
funny
gotta
is all
do is
these
run out there in a couple
contractors,
of months and pour some concrete somewhere, and then say, "Hey, we're building it."
a lot of these contractors that have volunteered to build Trump's Great Wall have all had death threats. So a lot of them keep backing out every day. There's a different one that backs out.
Well, they had a Mexican company, the American company that had all Mexicans apply for it, and they all got death threats too.
Yeah.
Death threats. Give me a break.
Well, you can imagine if some company actually does accept the contract and they go down there and start building that. You got to think the federales will be right on the other side of that border, scaring the shit out of them every day. I mean, when
Be
you
like
when you show up
Keystone
at work,
Pipeline, they'll come in and vandalize it at night or something.
True that too. But I mean, you gotta, because they'll sit over there with fucking mortars and tanks and I mean, that'd be a little intimidating when you show up to work and there's a fucking army on the other side of the border from you. So anyway, but I'm telling you, once everything starts going tits up around here, the Mexicans are going to build that wall to keep us out. I promise. I promise. I fucking promise.
The Canadians will build the wall to keep us out.
Yeah. That's
America's too fucking lazy to go up there and fight with the snow, man. That wouldn't happen. That wouldn't happen.
Oh, I'm on my way, man. North. I'm going north.
Yeah. Unless you're a hardy motherfucker, really like fishing or whatever, yeah, you ain't gonna cut it up there. You just ain't. I'm telling you, I was stationed up in Alaska. It's a motherfucker for about 10 months out of the year.
Mm-hmm.
Well, it's like that here, 9 months. I think.
Yeah, see, David knows it too. So, ain't much difference between the Dakotas and up yonder. They talk a little funny, but they got some really good weed.
I see where Canada's fixing to legalize it all by 2018.
Yeah, Justin Trudeau. Bullshit. That fucking cat. He's about the biggest lark that was ever foisted in front of a population to vote for. I mean, he's worse than Obama. That cat is just a fucking scumbag first rate.
Mm-hmm.
Biggest liberals you can be, man. He's, that's kind of worrying us because he's taking all these immigrants just like Merkel did in Germany in the beginning. He's welcoming them with open arms up there. Canada's filling up with Muslims, man.
And he's getting a lot of flack from the people around him too. All the people up there in Canada. There's a cat that's got a YouTube channel. Oh shit! I'm not gonna be able to pull the name out now. I can't think of it right now. I'll come up with it here in a minute.
They needed to hire that crackhead mayor guy as their president.
The one that
Ford, yeah,
the one that looked like the comedian dude. Chris Farley. Yeah. That guy was great, man.
I think he died, didn't he?
He did. Yeah, he did.
Yeah, hell yeah. As much crank as shit that guy was putting up his nose, you knew he wasn't lasting long. Yeah.
Those pictures that they had out about him, do you believe those?
About him doing smoking the meth and all that shit? Hell yeah.
No, the site where it shows him dead.
Oh yeah, I believe that.
Yeah.
Do you believe that?
Yeah, I think there was actually an obituary and stuff in the paper up there.
And talk about people killing themselves. There was another one attached to the Bernie Madoff clan that killed themselves. Did you see that this week?
Nope.
No, I didn't see that.
Yeah, one of somebody else backed me up on this. I can't remember who it was, but it was somebody attached to the Bernie Madoff stuff.
Ken Starr? I remember the whole day was a big story about Ken Starr's plane going down, but he wasn't on the plane. So
No.
Really?
Yeah, find that story and pass it over, man.
Kenneth Starr, wasn't he the one that was in charge of
Going after the
dealing with
Clintons.
the death of who was the guy that was Hillary Clinton and Bill Clinton's number one guy? And then he got he suicided himself in a park. What was his name? Back when Bill Clinton was still in office.
I know what you're talking about.
Yeah, I know
his name's
exactly.
not coming to me either.
That was Kenneth Starr, I think.
Yeah.
Was that the same one you're talking about?
Yeah, he was leading the investigation into that and into the whole Monica Lewinsky thing when Lewinsky was, pulling some DNA samples from.
It was a hedge fund executive whose former firm was linked to Madoff jumped to his death yesterday, the 28th.
I'll be damned. Off a 20-story building, Hunt
That's
standing in
it.
the room.
Yep.
What's his name?
It's amazing how everything's so interconnected
Yeah,
in the long run.
that's these people are. Well, that's because it's cronyism. As soon as people get into office, man, look what Trump's
And I
doing.
can tell you, that guy didn't jump off of 20 stories.
Fuck no.
He's he could have found a much easier, painless way to kill himself other than throwing himself off of 20 stories.
Yeah, you don't. Do that.
It just didn't happen.
You get helped out those. You get helped out those
Yeah,
situations.
he could have very easily taken a pill. He did not do that willingly.
Or ate a bullet.
Oh, believe me, I agree.
Yeah.
I mean, he could have done it with a nail gun easier than that, like the other guy.
A nail gun.
7 times. He shot himself with the nail gun 7 times to commit suicide, dude. That guy was dedicated.
Well, you knew about Tom Clancy too, right? The writer.
Yeah.
He got in a car accident or
Well, Tom
Something
Clancy.
or what?
There were a couple of deaths that were very suspicious because the one that was writing the books on the on all the different Hillary and Bill Clinton crap, like Arkansas and all those things that the rest of the world truly didn't know about. Like, honestly, it was a blackout for the whole 80s on that crap.
Right.
And so, I mean, nobody knew about Arkansas and all that. Nobody until these books came out, until these, people started actually talking about stuff. And so it just seems amazing how I was studying the Iran-Contra affair, and it's amazing how those planes were coming through Arkansas and Mena just as much as I think that was there before the Clintons did their drug thing.
Yeah, Sandy's saying
Absolutely
Michael
no
Crichton.
connection.
I know, but still, I'm just saying everything's
No, I'm
everything's so interconnected. Where everything you look, something's connected to something. Just
Oh,
like Jimmy
absolutely.
said, everybody's once they get there, they're all connected.
Yeah, because they hire their
Hard to
friends
break
and
it up.
family. They got to try to keep everything in-house. Keep everything hush-hush. So they're going to want to hire the people that are closest confidants, the people that they got the most fucking dirt on.
And then
Right.
they kill him.
The people that are 10 skeletons deep in their closet instead of 2 skeletons deep in their closet. So,
Yeah.
that way they got dirt on them, they can keep them shut the fuck up.
Yep.
And when they do step out of line, they sit on a park bench in the middle of downtown D.C. and shoot themselves twice in the back of the head with a 25.
And then drag themselves across the street and dump themselves in the park, don't you know?
Right, without leaving any blood.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, that shit just happens.
Everybody's doing it.
Yeah, it just happens. It just happens.
Yeah.
Well, that's pretty disturbing, though.
Yep. Sandy's saying that the author you're talking about is Michael Crichton. I think.
Michael Crichton.
Yeah.
Well, was that the author's name?
Yeah.
Oh, okay, yeah. Well, did you hear about the author? Not just Tom Clancy, but the author of those books. He's the one that on his birthday, and I think he was like 48 or 52 or something like that. On his birthday, he like climbs up this beautiful mountain and decides to just shoot himself. He did not shoot himself.
No.
And he and Tom Clancy were working on a book together, and I think they were suicided.
Yeah.
Killed.
I don't really think Sonny Bono had a fucking skiing accident either. You know what I mean?
Oh
It
no,
just-
he
that,
didn't.
That stuff just doesn't happen. It just doesn't happen. So, all these suspicious, and the if you go back and look at the Clintons, just the Clintons, I'm not talking about the Bushes or anybody else. Just the Clintons. From when he was governor down here in Arkansas, they have a list of bodies following them that is several hundred people.
Yeah.
So it just, coincidence is bullshit. It's complete bullshit.
It was like that director of the Gray State that was coming out, him and his kids.
That's exactly right.
Oh, yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
I was going to say that.
Because he knew too much.
They knew too much. And also, did you remember that week? That was in July of 2016, because I was watching this stuff, and within a 6-week period, I thought it was very interesting and very sad, too. Not just interesting, but that was a strange week because the secretary to the UN was killed. He had a barbell just crush his throat over and over again. That big old black guy. He died.
Oh, yeah. Yep.
Within weeks. And then I watched on YouTube, I watched this guy, I forget his name. He was so happy that day. And I watched the original footage, too, before he got killed. There was a Spanish guy that was doing the video of him, and he goes into the DNC. He says in advance what he's getting. He gives like a brief synopsis of what's going to happen. Then they walk into the DNC, and that was after the WikiLeaks dump and all this stuff about Debbie Wasserman Schultz, and just the whole thing was staged. And so they decided to present a, they were going to take her to court. So they presented the DNC. They were going to sue the DNC for what they did. Well, he came up dead too.
Right.
They killed him. He died in the bathroom. That was within like 1 week of the UN guy, which was just a week out from the Tom Clancy and the other guy.
Yeah.
That killed himself just on a mountain on his birthday. They wrote those books about the Clintons.
And there's, Ricky's bringing up Breitbart. Andrew Breitbart was offed because he had dirt on fucking Obama. He knew all about Obama's history and where he really came from and what he was really about.
He knew about Podesta's pedo stuff, too.
Oh, yeah. He tweeted about that several years ago.
1 year before the day of his death.
Yeah. Yeah.
Talked about his pedo stuff.
So
yeah, it's just, I feel terrible for him. Many, like you study the deaths, you guys study the deaths. It's a laundry list.
Who's the cat that cracked his BMW up going down the middle of La Brea Boulevard or what? I can't remember what his name is right now, but he was a reporter for Rolling Stone magazine, I think, or somebody. He was an independent.
Freaked out that night too.
Yeah,
he tried to borrow his neighbor's car.
Right, he was tweeting people saying, "I'm pretty sure I'm being followed. I'm about ready to drop this heavy story," and yada yada yada. And all of a sudden, his BMW just takes off, or Mercedes Benz or something, just takes off all by itself and cracks up into a tree.
I thought about that story tonight on the way home from Warner Robins. I just met my sister for dinner down there. It was great. She drove over from Savannah, and we just met and had dinner with some friends down there. So it was great. But I thought about that reporter that you just spoke of tonight on the way home, because I just got a different card. It actually has the whole system where you can OnStar and all that.
Yeah.
And I thought about that guy because I think his car was taken over. He was worried about that.
I know.
That's why
I know. I don't know for a fact. I can't prove it for a fact, and nobody's been able to right now. I don't think they did any forensic. Yeah, Hastings. Hastings was his last name.
Yeah, Hastings.
Hastings. That's right.
But he and just a couple weeks ago, we come out, the what is it, the Vault 7 shit came out, and it proved that the CIA had the technology to be able to do that. So Michael Hastings. Thanks, Ricky. Michael Hastings was the name of the guy. So we know that this stuff is going on, and the fact that people are letting it go completely over their heads and not connecting the dots and starting to call congressmen and senators and saying, "What the fuck are you people doing up there, man?"
Yep.
You brought that thing up with Sonny Bono. Remember when Sonny Bono was sitting there questioning, I believe it was Janet Reno, when Sonny Bono was questioning Janet Reno specifically about the gas that was sprayed into the, I think it was called, correct me please, the Providian compound or something. Davidian, thank you. Davidian compound.
Yeah, the Branch Davidians down in Texas.
Yeah, that. He was questioning her, and what that
It was
gas,
a
what they
flammable
did was
gas.
just-
Yeah, exactly. It was a
This-
flammable type of tear gas, and then they punched a hole through the side of the building with a flamethrower
with the children and
Yeah.
everybody there. It was
and went ahead and
hideous.
lit it up.
Well, he was like grinding in on them. And also, I hear what the scuttlebutt is. In the beginning, when that whole thing started out, there were 4 bodyguards directly connected to Bill Clinton's older days back in Arkansas that died mysteriously
Yeah, they were
from
former
friendly
state
gunfire at the
troopers.
beginning.
Yeah, they were former state troopers. There's a big book written
Yeah,
about that shit too.
So, people forget about those little things, but I'm telling you, these people are like psychotic.
They don't forget
serial
about them. No,
killers with a
no. That's not how it works. They don't forget about them. History is written by the winners.
Yeah.
So when you win,
Right.
you get to go through and wipe out your history.
Mm-hmm.
That's exactly the way it's always been. That's why our fucking history books in schools are so diluted. You
Yes,
know?
they are. Because I have some really excellent.
And look, just from the time we were in
have
high
grouped
school.
the books.
Yeah, just from the time we were in high school, look at what's being printed now and given to your children now. You know?
I purposely compared my history books because I wanted to look up 1913 when that stupid, when they pushed that whole banking cabal through the federal,
the meeting on Jekyll Island.
all that stuff.
Yeah.
So I looked up in my books. I have quite a collection of various array of books. Believe me, I love my books. And they don't mention, they skip right over, even in the oldest books that I have, where they actually do a timeline. They're really great books. I mean, they're great. Well, in every single book, they skip over that year. We never knew. There was no way to know. Nobody ever understood. I never was told.
No.
I had no idea.
We were
nobody taught
born
me
into this
stuff
system.
about
Our
stuff like
parents
that.
didn't know either. So we were
I know.
abducted into this system willingly.
Yes,
And that's what
we
pisses me off
knew.
so bad. And it's I hope it pisses all of you guys off too. That we were never even informed about any of this.
I had no idea the money was printed out of thin air, and then they were allowed to tax us when we could have printed our own money out of thin air and not taxed ourselves.
Right.
I hate being taxed on my labor. It's bullshit.
Well, when you start looking back at history and you realize that we had a military and we had roads and colleges and all this infrastructure and bridges and everything else before any of the taxes were initiated on the public, it just you get more and more pissed off, And where are all these trillions of dollars going? Where?
Into the bunkers they're building.
I think it's
Right.
going into the black ops programs that are directly against
Us.
they're directly against us, and they're for this
The
new world
globalist.
order crap.
Yeah. Yep.
Barbara and I almost met in Elberton, since she's in Savannah and I'm here. We just thought, well, I told her, I said, we should go out to the Georgia Guidestones today. I went back in September. It's very interesting the way, when you're standing there and looking up at these things, it's like, dang, it's very interesting if you study it. Oh, but going back to Sonny Bono, Sonny Bono, he was killed, and he came really close to figuring out that he was getting ready to prove, and he was very serious. I don't think they expected that from him, but he had a good mind. And he got really close, and then, bam, all of a sudden he hits his head, and he's dead.
Yeah.
It's like, this is a huge thing. There's no way. It's like, it's deep. Pun intended.
It's more deep than we even know, too. I mean, even all the shit that we know, it goes way deeper than we know.
Oh,
I hate
tons.
that.
So,
We're right at the surface, I think.
and when it all comes clear and everything's exposed, and I think we're all going to be shocked as hell as to what the truth actually is.
I think
Sure.
you're right. I think you're absolutely right. I think that I thought I couldn't be shocked anymore. I don't think I have. Like, my dad's last words to me were, you better buckle down, girl. You have no idea what's coming. And I think that is probably the truest statement right now, today, than any other statement that applies.
Right.
I agree.
Okay.
Stay loose. Stay loose.
We still got because you're
Taking
gonna
the info
you're gonna have
and
to be going with the flow, and you don't know how you don't know how rapidly shit's gonna change. So yeah, it's
I know
it's time to-
that.
Semper Gumby.
yeah. Well, yeah, that too. Semper Gumby.
What does that mean?
Be
Always
flexible.
flexible.
Always flexible.
True. You have to be that way to play racquetball.
Well, that went in a different direction, but yeah.
Right.
Well, if you're not flexible, you crash and burn. That's not
Oh, I get
pleasant.
So we got about a half hour left. David, have you got anything over there on your stack of stuff that's like late breaking news kind of things?
I don't have anything breaking.
What do you got?
Uh,
Give us something else to
what
talk
else here?
about.
China says they're getting ready to send planes and everything to their one island they've got in the South China Sea already.
I saw something today on Twitter that was kind of interesting about that very thing. You know, if the United States was so up in arms about these guys building these islands over there in the Sakakus and making these all these landing strips and military bases, and why didn't we do anything about it a long time ago when they were dredging up all the dirt to make the motherfuckers? Because we
That's
didn't.
what the Philippine ambassador asked the U.S. ambassador yesterday.
Yeah. It made the Twitter feed.
And did you hear his answer? No. Oh, I wasn't. I didn't have the post then, so I can't answer.
Oh, that's convenient. Isn't it?
Yeah, exactly.
It's like the biggest excuse used in the U.S. Well, I wasn't in charge at that time. Liar.
I'm sorry, that's outside my pay grade.
Yeah, and that's another one.
Yeah. But yeah, I mean, what about that, right? I mean, why didn't we do anything until everything was already set in stone and done? And then we went, hey, wait a minute now.
To attack them, we needed to let them get so far built, along developed with these islands before they could tell the American people and the world, well, we need to go to war with China because of these islands.
Right. I mean, it's not like it took them a couple of years to
now
do
they're like, all right.
Right.
So I heard something, and I don't know for sure. When I listened to this station, it seems right, and the men talk over things similar to the way you all talk about stuff. I mean, for just someone else, like someone like me, I just listen to it because then I study the geography, so that way I kind of understand more about, what I hear. And so they were talking on a station called True News, and they were talking about how North Korea had like 2, if not 11, but 2 for sure, aimed at 2 spots over on the west coast of LA and somewhere up in, I believe, Seattle, Washington. And that if something happened, then it would be blamed on Iran and North Korea or something. And it would actually be something that this deep state or whatever it's called, this cabal type thing is purposely like breaking up America.
You guys do realize that a couple of years back, I think there was 7 nuclear warheads that mysteriously went missing from the U.S. arsenal, and they've never been verified.
I think I remember.
Their
do
locations,
I remember something like that?
Their locations have never been verified. They were supposed to be brought back here from overseas, and they never made it.
Wow.
I hate when that happens.
Yeah,
Damn it.
And
Well,
I have a piece of
the thing they were talking
paper.
about was that our own government would set the nukes off from here, and then
Oh,
Iran and
absolutely.
North Korea would be blamed with it
Sure.
and start a world war.
There was a
Like the
there was a
biggest-
rumor going around that the whole 3/11/11 kerfluffle in Japan was caused by an underwater nuke that we set off.
Right.
Just to call, I mean, there's rumors about everything. But I do got to tell you that before I ever moved here, there was a story about explosives being sent around the world to all United States embassies. I still have the piece of paper over there on my gun cabinet taped to it. I can't see it from where I'm at, unless I maybe be able to shine a flashlight over there and see what it says. Nope, too far away. My eyes are too old. But anyway, that was before I ever moved here. They sent all these explosives and stuff around to all the U.S. embassies around the world for whatever reason. I have no idea. But anyway, I just thought I'd throw that back out there too. I don't put anything past our government. And as far as
I don't
North
think-
Korea being able to shoot a nuke at the United States, they might not be able to put together a missile that would make it here because all their shit breaks up in the air about 3 miles up. But they can damn sure buy one from somebody. So there is that.
Was it Clinton that gave all those secrets to China?
Yeah,
Yeah. Yes.
Yeah, maybe they just kind of hand that over off to the side.
right. Or Iran, or Russia, or someone else that doesn't give a shit about the United States or whether or not we exist in another year or so. So yeah, I don't put anything past any of these motherfuckers.
Well, they hate the fact that the United States exists, period. People like us.
They want everything we got. They just don't like us. Well, they don't like our government.
Our government.
But it falls back on our shoulders, right? Because our government wouldn't be this way if we'd have paid attention 100 fucking years ago.
All right, here's some breaking news coming out.
All right, go for it.
Says this just came out. Says South Korea's military says it believes North Korea may be preparing a new kind of nuclear test. Does not elaborate.
Well, thanks, Captain Obvious.
And then
I
North
hate that,
Korea
man.
just came out just now, warned of preemptive attacks against the U.S.
Preemptive attacks. So their new test is going to be firing one at a ship or something? Could that be the
Says
new
North
test?
Korea just said, it's Thursday over there now. It says North Korea said Thursday that the U.S. should be accountable for a possible outbreak of war in the Korean Peninsula, warning that Pyongyang is ready to stage preemptive attacks in a resolute manner. It says in case a war breaks out on the Korean Peninsula, the U.S. will be held wholly accountable for it, no matter who will launch a preemptive attack, as it is causing trouble by bringing lots of nuclear strategic assets and special warfare means. So the spokesman was quoted as saying by the Korean Central News Agency. And everybody knows in the past, Little Kim has talked a lot of shit, but I think it's getting a bit more serious, I think that, I think Trump's going to hit him. I think if they set off this nuclear test, that Trump's going to do something.
I think he's being
And I think
coaxed.
it's planned that way.
Yeah,
I think Little Kim, you mentioned it on your show last week about Little Kim being a CIA asset. I'm starting to agree with that.
He's a playboy.
I agree too.
They're going to blame this war on him while they're going to usher him underground somewhere.
I don't even think they'll do that. They're coaxing him along, and they're telling him, come on, just play along, man. Just threaten the shit out of us for another couple of weeks, and everything will be cool. And then they're going to leave his ass hanging in the wind. They're going to cheese him.
That sounds
That
more
too.
realistic.
They'll nuke
That's a possibility,
Pyongyang, and they'll annihilate every fucking one of them, and then he's off the face of the planet, right? Nobody has to worry about him anymore. But we've started World War III, and now here comes China and Russia.
I heard something too. If you guys, I never watched this, I don't think, but there was a movie called Jericho, and I think it was also
It was a
book.
TV series. Yeah.
TV show, too.
Yeah, and it was a TV series, but it was originally from a book. But they're saying that Jericho, what they do is, how they're always giving these hints. And it's like something about where they give you the hints, and if you don't do anything, at least the karma doesn't come back on them, because then you made that choice to not pick up on these obvious hints. And so they're saying that Jericho is actually what is planned. Like, we're going to be bopping about our day, and we're going to look off in the distance, and there's going to be a damn mushroom cloud. Freaked me out when I saw
it's more than just Jericho. There's been movies based on this. There's been a bunch of books
It happened in
based on
Japan
this.
one time too.
Yeah. And they,
Yeah, for real.
Damn, Lance.
the elite,
Woo!
the
Happened
elite
twice.
have to do this, though,
Yeah.
right? They have to do this. It's the whole karma thing, like you're talking about, and it's part of their rules, right? They have to let the people know what their intentions are beforehand, whether it's a day, a week, a month, a year, or 10 years. They have to let us know, and then they don't have any guilt. And that's the same way. That's the same reason they go to Bohemian Grove every fucking year and do the sacrifice to Moloch, right?
That's why they made the Simpsons.
cremation of
so they could tell us.
care is what they call
Yeah,
it. The cremation of care. They go and do their little sacrifice thingy so that they don't have to care about what they're getting ready to do.
Well, then I guess we would be part of the percentage that does give a damn, so their karma's not going to be as perfect as they thought it would be.
No, but they've got all the big toys.
Yeah, that's the problem.
That's the
I know, I
problem.
hate that part.
Yeah,
Yeah,
that's the problem.
That part.
But yeah,
The
that's
best
I
one
mean
so
that's
far.
and this we've been talking about this for years and years and years, and that's why I try to scream at the top of my lungs, get yourselves ready, because you never ever know when it's coming. You just don't.
I
It
hate
could
that
happen tomorrow.
part too.
Yeah.
That's two. I think my concern, like what you were talking about with the chemtrails, Jimmy, is that if they get frustrated with us, they'll just bio us.
Yeah, I
Well,
thought
see, that's it. They're saying North Korea has 1,000 drones that can deliver anthrax and VX. And
But they
came out
can't
with
get a
that
fucking
yesterday
missile to
saying
fly
that-
3 miles. How the hell are they going to get a bunch of drones over here?
No, I'm talking about hitting South Korea, Japan.
Well, yeah, they
Maybe.
can do that. They could do that.
Well, if that doesn't happen, the Fukushima radiation will. I mean, I wouldn't, if I could afford to go to Hawaii tomorrow and go play and frolic and run and
I
enjoy
would
myself
not
in the
go
ocean, I wouldn't go there.
I wouldn't stick my big toe in the Pacific Ocean right now.
Neither would I.
There's been biologists talking about the death of the fauna and flora in the Pacific Ocean for over 4 years. You know, shortly
That
after
sucks.
Fukushima happened, they said they started seeing large dead zones in the Pacific where there was nothing.
Horrible.
No swimming
Horrible.
life whatsoever. Yeah. So, and I imagine when the salmon run comes this spring, they're not going to be a whole lot of salmon running upstream either, and they're going to notice that.
And they'll be glowing.
Yeah. Well, no, I just don't think they're going to show up. I think they're
Yeah, I
all
agree.
dead.
What wasn't there? What was it last week or early this week that they were showing a large amount of salmon dead?
Yeah, a bunch of sockeye stuck off in a cove
yeah,
somewhere.
that's the one. Yes, yep.
I posted that on Twitter.
That it must have been you,
So-
that Jimmy guy.
Yeah. And I fully believe, I don't know if that was a recent picture or if that was something from the past, but I fully believe that they're going to get a real big shocker come this spring when the run starts. And there aren't any. Because I'm telling you what, man, I've seen videotape up there back in the day, and the salmon were so fucking thick you could walk across the river
Yep.
on
Yep.
their backs. And I don't see that happening this year.
The National Weather Flora could issue a severe thunderstorm warning for southeast Van Buren, Cleburne, and north central Faulkner until 10:15.
Yeah, see, Van
No-
Buren County just
no-
got dropped for a severe thunderstorm warning now, too. So it's all around me, man. I can't believe the lightning stopped, actually.
Yeah, they really don't need to do anything to Washington with all that water and those dams. I hear there's like 9 dams up there above that one dam, and they've done no infrastructure. That's a hard word. Infrastructure build up. So it's like all breaking down, and now,
Yeah, Orville's
I mean,
in California,
oh my
though. That's
goodness.
not in Washington. Orville's in California.
yeah.
But
oh,
yeah,
yeah.
that's
Okay.
the Mount Shasta watershed that you're talking about. And I'm sure that the whole West Coast is just reeling from all the rain that they've gotten.
Just
and-
reeling.
Yeah. And besides that, up in the upper elevations, the snowpack is still pretty much frozen because they're still getting down into the low 20s overnights. So there's still several hundred inches of snow that haven't even melted off yet. And I don't think they're I don't think they're ready for it. You know, they're trying to come up with some kind of plan to rebuild the Oroville spillway in the next week. I think they have to turn it in by next Friday. They have to have their preliminary plans on somebody's desk over there at the Department of Water Resources. So that's going to be the preliminary fix. And then after that, they got to run through a season of rain, and then they have to tear the fucking thing out again and try to rebuild it permanently. I just don't see it happening, man. Turn the fucking thing into a natural waterfall and leave it go. As long as the gates work, fuck the rest of it, right? Let
Yeah,
that
and all
shit,
those
let it
people
erode
need to
down.
move.
Let it erode down to bedrock, and then clean the debris out of the diversion pool every chance you get, and there Bob's your uncle. But I don't know how far that head cut's going to go back. You know, that head cut could go all the way back into the base of the dam, and then you're fucked. So, my advice to everybody that lives in Orville or anywhere downstream: move your shit, because even if it don't happen this year, it's coming.
It's going to be ugly.
Plus the fact that it's a tectonic location, right? They get a nice little 6.0 through there, and I don't think that dam's going to make it either.
Oh, my God.
It's one of the
And they
oldest.
should know these things.
Yeah, it's one of the oldest and most important in the watershed for the Shasta Valley. You know, for the Feather River Valley. I think it supplies like 82% of the water for LA and the lower areas.
Oh, did you hear about this thing with the electricity? They've got like 3 grids. And now what they're doing is they are connecting. There's some kind of special technology, electric technology, where they're building a thing where it's like an adapter piece, if you will, that connects to all 3 grids. So now instead of having to really work to shut down all 3 grids of America individually, now they've
Just
made
hit
it
one.
A super switch. They got a super switch that they're putting in somewhere.
Yes,
Yeah.
it's gonna.
Yeah,
make
so
it
you hit
possible
that and it
to
knocks out all 3.
grids off.
Right.
Yeah,
So
one thing.
right, they just want to. They're going to hit that button and then they're going to go, "Oh my God, Kim Jong Il set off a nuke."
I know.
It's called efficiency. There you go.
When
Yeah.
I found out about that, I was like, "Crap! What the hell? We're being so set up."
Well, the one thing that'll
Huge.
let you know whether or not it's a false flag, and whether or not it was really a nuke, is to look at Texas, because Texas has an independent power grid. They are not tied to the national power
Yes.
grid whatsoever.
That's
the
right.
state of Texas is independent. So if Texas is still up and running, you can pretty much bet that the nuke's a lie.
Yeah, but how would I know it? Because wouldn't our iPhones not work?
Well, if you see it on the mainstream media, it's a lie.
Right.
Well, but I'm thinking if all the grids are shut down except Texas, I don't know that we would be able to see it.
I'll take a drive down there across Texarkana, and then I'll send up smoke signals if we still got power.
Well, we appreciate that. Thank you.
No problem.
See, now that would be why it would be an advantage to have a drone, so we could see your smoke signals, Jimmy.
Right?
I think I'm smelling more sarcasm.
Yeah.
Dave and I use the Dixie cups and strings, so we'll still be able to talk to each other.
Sure. With that level of sarcasm, Kim's going to fit in here just nicely.
Mm-hmm.
So,
Oh, I thought that was dry wit.
same thing.
Yeah.
They both get a gold
Yeah,
star.
earlier, every time I agreed with something, I felt like I was in the OR because you always have to agree when you do that surgical timeout. So every moment I'm like, I agree. I concur.
Hell no, you don't.
You signed my check, right? I agree with that. All right. We got 15 minutes left. David, what you got over there, buddy?
That went fast.
Hey, nobody talked about that ramming of the Capitol today, that lady in the car. Nobody mentioned that.
Oh, how about
I didn't
that?
hear
Let's talk
about
about that.
How about that?
Let's talk about that. Here it is. I got it right here. I got the story right here. As soon as this page loads.
Yeah, I can pull up InfoWars and read it. Hold on one second.
Yeah, no, that's got the truth right there. I dig that shit. I always go to that right after CNN.
U.S. Capitol.
Well, then before it's news, I go to before it's news too.
Hush, you guys over there. Shush.
So sorry.
I'll hit the mute button. Let's see. U.S. Capitol Police have arrested a female motorist who hit a police cruiser and tried to run over several police officers at a checkpoint on Capitol Hill in Washington, D.C. Local media reported on this. Several shots were fired, but no one was injured because they probably suck at shooting. Multiple police cars have been spotted outside the U.S. Botanic Gardens on the south side of Capitol Reflecting Pool. Notice sent to area offices tells unspecified Capitol Police activity at the intersection of Washington and Independence Avenues. Okay, police have reportedly cleared civilians from the streets, and lawmakers have been told not to go outside. You might get shot.
Well, that was earlier from today.
Right? Is that what you're talking about, yeah?
Yeah.
Oh, shut up then. Let me finish. According to a report with WUSA-TV, the incident was an officer-involved shooting near Botanic Gardens. Metropolitan D.C. Police told WTVD that the motorist had struck a Capitol Police cruiser and tried to run over several other officers who were on foot. There were no injuries from the gunfire, and the suspect had been taken into custody. A female driver was stopped by Capitol Police at a security checkpoint, but refused to follow instructions and rammed the cruiser. So, this is becoming a daily occurrence now outside the White House. They are constantly putting this place on lockdown. People are jumping over the fucking fence and yelling at shit, and it seems that there are no police officers to be anywhere involved unless they're attempting to be run over by a car.
My takeaway on this was that because nobody got killed, especially that woman, they either weren't shooting at her to kill her because it was a setup, or she was on crack or something like that.
Or
For
rubber bullets
more
don't
security,
make it.
or more put some more money in, this is why we need to spend more money on Secret Service, et cetera, et cetera.
We're digging a moat around the White House now. We're going to fill it with alligators and piranha. And, okay.
If I were hanging by my shoelaces on the other side of the fence of the White House, like a complete jackass, I would hope that I would be so high that I wouldn't know that I'd done something so stupid.
Exactly.
I hear you.
I think that lady was on crack or something, and that's why
He said that she
just couldn't
attempted-
comprehend it.
They said she's
just
been
shoot
busted
me.
three different.
Just shoot me now.
She's been busted 3 different times trying to jump the fence.
3 times.
3 times. Holy
See,
crap.
Yeah, I'm telling you, people, they are throwing it out there that Trump is not safe. Some lunatic is going to make it through and get inside the White House with a fucking bomb or a gun, or maybe there's going to be another guy fly a plane into the side of the goddamn thing like they did a couple years ago. Something's going to
No,
happen.
I think you had it right the other night ago, Jimmy, when you said it's predictive programming.
Yeah.
I think they're getting everybody ready for the concept that this is going to happen, and then they're going to make it happen.
Yeah, that's exactly right. That's what I mean. They're
I
pumping
would
everybody
think
up
that-
for it because it's become a daily occurrence now. This is what 5 times in the last 2 weeks that somebody's been on the grounds of the White House.
Yeah, and I can't believe that Trump would sign up for this. I would think that he did make some kind of deal with Kissinger because I watched.
Oh yeah.
And he did. There was one that I caught on I randomly searched for everything during that whole thing. And he did meet with Kissinger before he was elected. And from what I hear, nobody gets elected until they meet Kissinger. And he met with him twice before he was elected.
And 3 times since he got elected. Yeah. So-
Okay, so that's what I'm saying.
Yeah,
He
he's-
did do that. So did he sign up to be killed? I don't think so. He must have made some kind of deal, unless they changed the rules on his deal that he gave, which I think he must have. Then otherwise, he's just a complete fool. Oh, okay, I'm signing up to have my family and me killed. Why would he do that? He's got to have some kind of deal where he feels like he's got some kind of protection. And if he does, why are we being fed predictive programming that he's going to be killed?
It might be to scare him. All
Right.
this shit might be going
Yep.
on to scare him, to make him believe that he's not safe there. And
Like they did with Reagan?
if they can get him to resign, or you still see stories pop up about every week or so that they're trying to do everything in their power to get him pinned on something so they can file charges against him and get him impeached out or whatever. They're going to try to scare him out, or I tell you what, if you're worth a couple $1 billion and somebody leans over and says, "Hey man, why don't you take a flag and go spend your money?" Because shit's going to get real around here pretty quick, and if you're here, they're going to dump it all in your lap. What would you do? Hey, man, I got $4 billion. I think I'm out. Sorry, folks. Got to throw in the flag. These people are too hard to deal with. Congress is fucking hamstringing me every chance they get. I'm done. Fuck you guys. You're on your own. I can see that
Oh,
coming.
but
He's a huge fucking egomaniac, man. You really think he's going to go down in flames for this country?
no.
No,
That's what I'm-
no,
that's
no,
what I'm
no.
saying.
Well, like they said, you've got the Bilderbergs that are on Hillary
Ooh,
Clinton's
shit.
side, and they want things a little bit different than the Rothschilds do. And, you've got Soros and the Bilderbergs on one side, and you've got Kissinger and the Rothschilds on the other. And
And the Whataburgers in the middle.
yeah, and you got all them, so I'm sure that the Soros side, the Bilderberg side, don't want him there. They wanted Hillary in there. And so they're sending people after him,
Yep.
That's what you see these lefties on the fucking streets now, carrying ARs and AKs with bandanas over their faces and shit. Socialist.
Yep.
You seen any of those videos of?
Yep. And it's open carry, man. I'm legal.
They're they're going to get a civil, of huge, just us killing each other war. Won't be civil. And at the same time, war is going to break out around the world, and we're going to be too busy killing each other.
Yep.
They want anarchy, but they don't know what anarchy means. They want chaos in this country. They
want
always they
chaos,
keep talking
yes.
they keep calling it anarchy, and because they're doing that, I think that they're predictively programming that we're going to take
Why
back
do you think
the country.
Trump was told to ban Muslims to piss people off? Trump was
You
told
betcha.
to get the Mexicans out to piss people off.
You betcha.
And
to get everybody
and-
pissed off at each
you know-
other, right? The blacks against the whites against the Mexicans against the blacks, the Hindus against the fucking whoever's, everybody that was a Trump supporter, all of a sudden they hate anybody that wears a fucking turban or calls himself a Muslim, or, that's Free for all.
If you notice, Black Lives Matter kind of disappeared in the background, but now you're getting these socialist groups that are making a resurgence, really big time, man.
I saw something today about the Black Panthers showing up at some city here locally in the United States and bitching and moaning about a kid that got shot by the cops and the cop got off about it. So now instead of BLM, it's going to be the Black Panther Party.
No.
Right? Because BLM, everybody thinks of the Bureau of Land Management. What, didn't they kill a guy out there in Utah? So they picked the wrong acronym for their movement.
You know, you got the Native Americans still up in arms about the pipeline, you know, and then, you know, this Dakota Access is going to start pumping oil next week through here.
I don't think they can, because I don't think that pipe's been static tested yet, and there's fucking holes everywhere every time they go to check it with air. You know, I don't know if it's going to start pumping any. I think they're going to the pipeline is supposed to be complete in the next 2 weeks, but I don't think it's going to be pumping oil for quite a while.
Oh, the story came out here. It's supposed to be carrying oil as early as next week.
Really?
Yeah, that's been all over our news. But
the
deal is that the Native Americans keep sabotaging it. They're finding holes burned into the side of it and everything else, all the way from here to Illinois.
Yeah, I'm sure that's all the fucking activists. I'm sure it has nothing to do with the shoddy construction and
they're going to have the military guard this whole freaking pipeline, or someone's going to blow it up like you see over in Yemen or Iraq or like that.
Oh, well, there's a good job for DHS. Yeah, there's a good job for DHS. I'm sure they'll get right on that. This country is so fucked, everybody.
Did you see a video of that kid getting patted down by the TSA?
Yes, I did see that, and I wanted to mention that. If anybody hasn't gone to watch that video yet of the mother that her son has a learning disability, right? He has a learning disability. She warned the TSA about it, and they kept them there for 2 fucking hours.
I heard about
harassing a 12-year-old child.
Wow.
2 hours they harassed this kid. Made them miss their flight.
Unbelievable.
Yeah. If you haven't watched that video,
you were
people.
Just saying the other day ago, they carry guns now to these people. I mean, my God.
Yeah. I don't know if all of them are carrying guns, but they have enough ordered to issue them all a sidearm. And they also have AR-15s that are available to them. But for right now, I think that they're all a bunch of scared-ass rabbits, and they call the police anytime somebody gives them any harassment. So, but anyway, 2 hours they harassed this kid. Made the family miss their fucking flight. They had to get on an alternate flight.
Wow.
The mom is going to try to file charges against these people for whatever, I can think of a plethora of reasons that these people need to be shut down. But if you haven't given her a thumbs up, please pass the video on. It's on my Facebook wall. Pass that video around. It'll shock the hell out of you at what they put this kid through. He's wearing shorts, for fuck's sake.
No kidding.
And Grandpa feels a lot, wants to continue just to harass him. Just
Grandpa fucking pedophile.
Yeah.
Piece of shit.
Okay.
Wow.
Yeah.
He was kind of yelling at the kid too. Put your arms out like this.
The kid's he's got some kind of mental disorder that he doesn't react well to people touching him.
Yeah, exactly.
That's his whole disorder.
Scared.
He doesn't like people touching him. He doesn't react well to it. His body does little twitchy, jerky things when people touch him. So, yeah, whatever.
And the mother was probably scared. Everybody was probably scared for this poor
That's
boy.
why she was filming the whole thing, because she knew the shit was going to go on. She knew it was going to go on. So that's why she filmed it.
Well, it's like here in North Dakota now, how they're infringing on people's rights. Our medical marijuana, they're trying to work it out. It got passed, and they're claiming they're going to start July 1st. But there's one part of it that I don't like, that I won't participate unless I'm absolutely on my hands and knees and can't walk, is they're adding a clause to it now saying that a member of the health board can come to your house with a 24-hour notice. And they're not saying how many times, once a week, twice a week, 3 times a month. Basically, this health board member can come to your house, harass you, making sure you're not selling the weed you're getting from the pharmacy there, the dispensary, and look your house over and everything else. I'm like, fuck that, man. What right does the state have to send someone into my house because a doctor prescribed me medical marijuana?
Police state.
And no
they
way
had to
will
do
I
it for
participate.
oxycodone and everything else then too.
I can't participate in a program like that.
Yeah.
Nope.
You know, I might be hurting, but I'm hurting and I'm awake. I'm not a hurting sheep. I'm hurting and I'm awake. And I know that that's wrong, that they can send a spy over just because you've got permission from a doctor who spoke medical marijuana to harass you and see if you're selling it to anybody, because that's what they're exactly want to do. They want to see if you're selling it to anybody. And look around your fucking house. Fuck
Right.
that, man. That is complete bullshit.
That's what happens when people don't speak up for years and years and years and years. That's what happens when senators write laws that people don't actually act on, or you know what I mean? That this is what happens. And the only people that we have to blame is ourselves, because we let it happen.
Yep.
We let it happen. That's why I tell you as often as I can, ignore the government, because they ignore you. They don't do what you tell them to do, so don't do what they tell you to do. They
No,
only
we
garner
passed
their
this bill
power.
clean here in North Dakota, and they said, no, we've got to go back and
Hey.
rewrite some things and add some things to it. So they took out smokable marijuana for a while.
Blame
And now
everybody
they say,
that-
okay, we're putting smokable marijuana back in, but we're going to be able to come see you whenever we feel like it. Oh, with a 24-hour notice, like that's supposed to make it any fucking better.
Blame everybody that
I
voted.
don't need any of these assholes coming to my house once a year, let alone once every 2 or 3 weeks. Whenever
or
they
whenever
feel
they
like.
want.
Think back
Just
to
to
when you
harass
voted.
you.
Then think back to when you voted and who you voted for and who made it into office, and that's who you blame. That's who you blame. Who
Well,
voted for him, and who that's who you blame. That's the only to bitch at the government. They don't give two fucking squirts of piss what
No,
you think.
no, not at all.
They don't give two squirts of piss. So the only people that you can blame are the people that showed up at the fucking polls.
Yep.
Because they only garner the power that we give them. When you stop giving them power, then they're going to go away. Like the bad
Well,
when
we're
it
fighting
comes-
them. We're fighting them right now, saying the people didn't vote for your form of the bill. We voted for a different form of the bill. 67% of us did, and you're sitting there trying to change rules, saying if we don't accept your rules, then there's not going to be any medical marijuana.
Right, yeah.
That's what they're holding over the people's heads. Now they voted for this. It's either you go our way, or we're just gonna let this bill go aside, even though you approved it.
Well, check it out, Gov.
Well,
I
and
do what I
another thing,
want.
if
I
you're
do what I want. I live the way I want. I don't fuck with anybody. I don't hurt anybody doing what I want. I do what I want. I don't ask your permission. I live my life, and you do not have the power to tell me how to do it.
Laws are just words, man.
It's
They're
just words.
words.
Well, and another thing, if they're going to push this thing with the medical marijuana and basically make it like a Gestapo, a police state, to be able to utilize it under a medical prescription.
Right.
Another thing, what about this, like the thing you were talking about the other night, you guys, that synthetic stuff? I saw something on Boat.co about that, where that Synthrex or whatever for the synthetic marijuana, you don't want that as your medical marijuana that you're prescribed either. You want the real deal.
No, the synthetic marijuana is the shit that makes people want to eat each other's face off and stuff. We've been doing
Yes,
reports about that for
exactly.
a
So
long
they
time.
can't push that under that bill, like a little addendum.
But
where
that's
they
what they're
sneak
going to
that
try to
in.
do. That's Monsanto has been trying to clone marijuana plants and make their own little version of them for almost a decade now.
That don't
So.
regrow.
Yeah, exactly. So that you got to be dependent on their fucking seeds.
Well, they said the California weed right now has got that they're producing out there, the pharmacies and stuff. It's got such a high level of pesticides on it. It's crazy.
Yeah, they won't take it at any dispensaries because they can't. They have to produce medical grade marijuana. It has to be grown holistically, and they can't use pesticides on it. So that stuff is not to be sold at dispensaries. If it has anything foreign on it at all, it's not to be sold as a medical supplement. It can't be.
Well, I've heard
So.
that Monsanto stuff, if the seeds or whatever just get pushed over by the breeze into the organic
The pollen.
homeowner
Yeah.
property next door,
Then it
then
contaminates it.
because they have this thing on the Monsanto seeds, if their grain goes over and takes over their crop, then they legally have rights to that man's property or something like that.
That's what they try to do, yeah. They've been fought a
Yeah,
bunch
they
of times doing that,
patented
too.
the seed and then it migrated to his stuff, so now they get to buy him out too.
All right, people, we made it through again.
Well, it was nice
couple
to meet
minutes over.
everybody.
Yeah, you too.
Yeah,
Come
good,
on back.
good to have you on.
Yep.
Thanks.
All right, David, thank you very much, man. I'm glad you're feeling better. I hope the weather keeps going for you so you can get your ass outside and get some more sunshine because you're much more pleasant when you have sun.
Well, I am.
Yeah. Charlie, stop working so hard and burn your resume. That's all I'm going to say. Burn your resume.
Yeah, we're not talking about that on the air.
Yeah. Maybe next
All right,
week.
good.
Maybe
No.
Saturday. I don't know.
Never.
Okay.
We can
Lance?
do that off there.
I appreciate you, brother, not doing bong hits into the microphone and shit like you usually do. Staying awake through the whole show.
You talking to Dave?
No, I'm talking to you, man.
Oh,
You sound a lot better. Your voice is doing good. So
Glurga.
I think
here,
I
I'm
got
going to leave you with this parting irony thought of the day.
Okay.
The Trump administration so pissed off about being wiretapped that the last Republicans passed the Patriot Act. Talk about ironic, huh?
Yeah. But they weren't planning on spying on each other, right? They didn't know that the CIA was
Hey,
going to have
they
that much.
authorized it back in 2001.
Oh, I know. I know. And then they went and built that data center with all the trunk lines running through it out there in Utah. Isn't that amazing? Yeah. Okay. With that all being said, Kim, welcome to the show. Thank you very much for coming on. Look forward to
Thank
talking
you.
to you again. Everybody, as always, love, peace, and cookies.
Love, peas and cookies.
Love
See ya.
and peace. Bye.
Good night.